Let's talk about the Cavs. We haven't really talked about the Cavs a lot on this show. Let's talk about the Cavs. D-Right, tell me about what you think about them. They had an unbelievable, obviously, regular season. What do you think about them going into this playoffs?
I like them a lot. Fact that I like them because they got 2 footers out there. You got Evan Mobley, who's able to get the ball off the rim and bring the ball up, initiate the offense, make plays, shoot the tray ball, dribble handoffs like a Draymond Green, dive to the basket, finish at over the top or find guys. So Donovan Mitchell's been doing a great job being a leader and taking those guys under his wing and just showing the way to win. Who did they get? Hunter? That was I feel like
DeAndre Hunter.
I feel like that was a great pickup for them. To swap
that's
him.
the best move outside of Luka.
Yeah, you get a 3-and-D guy.
Move on the trade deadline.
Yeah, you get a 3-and-D guy that understands, to guard his man and knock down open shots.
But he's also a big wing.
Yeah, big wing. So I really, really like that team. They're coached well. A lot of that Golden State pedigree over there with Kenny. So I think they're going to go far. I got them getting to the Eastern Conference. Yeah, for sure. No doubt.
For sure. I love what Darius Garland is doing. That's one of my clients and players. And, last year him and Spider didn't get a chance to really, because Darius had some injuries. They didn't really gel as much. And we talked about that a lot this summer. And then to watch those 2 guys being young and play well together. And I was watching Donovan last night. I was just watching clips of him, and they kept talking about D. Because he over-the-top Euros, change of pace. You see his...
I appreciate you, boy. Appreciate you keeping me alive.
Keeping him alive because he had a lot of moves where he's driving and just picking the ball over the top.
You know why he's doing that? So as a defender, when the defender guard me, right, I make the move go that way. The defender body go that way. I take it over
his head this way. Point,
yeah, so all he's doing is trying to cut me off. When he cut me off, I'm going over.
Yeah.
And so that's what Donovan's doing. He's getting him to go that way, and he's taking it over his head, leaning, and he's shooting the floater off of it. So you're welcome.
They were showing him, and when I think about Donovan, the one thing that's probably happened for him is experience.
Yeah.
And he's actually slowing down. He trusts his teammates more. He's passing the ball. And he's actually playing at such a high level on both ends of the floor. And he's punching on dudes. And the one thing when we was in Utah, I was like, man, he ain't going to the basket as much. So the opportunity of winning is not going to be there because you got to get your best player got to get to the free throw line.
Facts.
And this year, he punching on dudes.
Well, and also too with Donovan, when it comes to Donovan is such a mental player. It's in his mind.
Yeah.
And so right now, like I told you, All-Star Weekend.
We talked to him All-Star Weekend.
And I said, oh, he in a good place in life. Right? He's in a good place when it comes to Cleveland and what he want to do there. He's in a good place in his relationship, right? What he talks about. He's just in a good place in life. He was floating in the Spades event. And I looked at him, I was like, I've been around him. I was around him in Utah when he wasn't in that place. And I seen him, I said, oh, you in a good place. So we're going to see that player that's in a good place in life. And when Donovan is confident mentally, I mean, he has all the talent and all the skills, when it comes to his ability to do it on the offensive end. But what I really love is when he decided to do it on the defensive end. Because that's what I known Donovan when he first came to the league. Before he became an amazing offensive player. Donovan was actually one of them guards that guarded me.
That's that Louisville dog.
Yeah, and so when but he's able to do that because of the guys that we named. So he's able to not just have to worry about offense as much. Because what Donovan always talked about, when our conversation in Utah was the kind of players he wanted to play with. He wanted to play with guys that he viewed as dogs.
And they got some dogs.
They got some guys over there that got that dog in them.
You probably really been watching the big fella play, but I was really impressed the way his ability to be able to guard Giannis, can guard the other bigs, protect the rim. We talking about Mobley?
Talking about Mobley?
No, not Mobley.
Oh, you talking about Jared Allen.
Jared Allen. Yes. Jared Allen guarded Giannis in the Milwaukee matchup. And I was like, oh. And he used his physicality. He was able to stand him up with some bumps on the drive. He stayed down. And Mobley came over and cleaned up a lot of that. And so when you watch how those 2 guys can switch and hold their own for 3 to 5 seconds, it makes the Cavs really, really.
The Cavs tough, bro.
Yeah, they tough. Very tough.
I mean, I know we keep saying Boston, but I'm like, man, the Cavs.
They got a good bench. Did they get the 6th man of the year?
Who was it?
Who got 6th man of the year?
The only they gave out the awards yet.
They got Ty Jerome.
Yeah, Ty Jerome.
They got Max. You know what I'm saying? He be cooking, Ty Jerome be cooking Max. I love the Hunter trade, obviously, bringing him over. That trade was made just to match up with Boston. We need size on the wing because they got small guards with Garland and Mitchell.
Yep.
But I think, for me, the evolution of Mobley, like you said, and I don't know, obviously health come into play, but I really feel like, and you probably can talk about this more, I feel like Garland and Donovan spent time together this summer. Just having conversations, getting to know each other. Bottle of wine, the shit you and Brian used to do. I felt like they took strides in their off-court relationship.
Their relationship off the court. This is so important.
I see the way they playing now, and
they play
no
together.
stress.
Yep.
I know where you gonna be at. You know where I'm gonna be at. I ain't never in your way. You ain't never in my way. I love the fact that they have the opportunity to go small or go big.
Yep.
Now, what I will say is Mobley does switch and does move his feet very well, but I did see a situation in Boston where that was a switch up that was being exploited. Because every time he switched on Tatum,
or Brown.
Barbecue chicken.
It's tough. That's tough, bro.
Yeah, no.
That's tough.
And
That's
as good
tough.
of a switching defender he is.
Oh, well, it's Jason Tatum.
Yeah, but they switched
And
him
Brown.
against, but they did the same thing against the Clippers, and they were switching them on to Kawhi and to James.
And
it didn't look good.
He was getting Benny
Hanna? As good as he is of a defender, and he's able,
Right.
He was getting Benny Hanna?
Yeah.
It's a bocce.
He was getting toe up.
Toe up.
Okay.
Tore up on
All
those
right.
switches. And that takes nothing away from Evan Mobley, because look at the names of the guys that I'm naming.
Yeah.
Right.
He's top tier.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But Boston is one of the teams that you hope to beat. So I don't know if that's what you want to live with, switching.
I like that.
To Mobley
I
and
like that. Something to look out for.
I don't know if you want to live
I
with
mean, he's in the defensive
If-
player of the year
If I'm in that
conversation.
situation, I'm playing a little bit more smaller against Boston. I'm going with one center, and DeAndre Hunter is going to be my five.
Wait,
my
hold on.
four
So you
man.
saying you're not going to play Mobley?
No, I'm not saying I'm not going to play him.
A lot.
I'm switching Mobley and Jackson. Or
Right.
Jared Allen.
Yeah.
I'm going to start
one
with
at a
both
time.
of them.
Right.
I'm starting with both of them. Then one of them's coming out, and I'm going with Hunter coming in, and we're going to play a little smaller. And those guys are going to have to rotate.
How they done that all year?
Yeah, they play small.
Yeah,
Yes,
they
They did that. They did that rhythm in
Yes,
the
they have.
routine all year.
But-
Yes, they
And
have.
Hunter
And a lot of
has
times they
the
rotate. Jared
experience.
Allen comes out, Mobley moves to the five.
Okay. And then they
And
bring
I'm
Hunter.
fine with
Smart.
that.
Okay.
But I just don't know if the two bigs is going to work against Boston. One of those bigs is going to have to take a seat.
Who won the last game? If I'm right, the Cavs won the last game
Yeah.
in Boston.
When they came
Yeah,
back.
they went in Boston.
Donovan went
Yeah,
nuts.
but a couple of the I don't know if Tatum or Brown, somebody was out.
Tatum
Both
and
of the guys
Brown
didn't
played
They
because that's
both
when
played.
Tatum was talking shit, talking about
They
getting
both-
Yeah,
Because they were out.
they had the early lead.
No, Porzingis didn't play.
Yeah, Porzingis.
Porzingis didn't play. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about no
But
wing
I don't
with
know if
Porzingis
Porzingis-
out.
I don't know if
He ain't
Porzingis-
their best player, but he their most important player.
For sure.
That's why I
feel
tell people all
him
the
and
time.
Drew
Your
Holiday.
best player ain't always gonna be your most important player.
Right.
Porzingis is not their best player, but he is their most important. He is the player that they cannot emulate. If you take Tatum out, Brown can come back and give you some of that. You ain't got nobody else on your team 7'3" that's shooting the ball from 24 feet.